above mentioned graph mentioned, or you
Graph,
can
then
see
ma'am?
the graph that is given above. Okay.
According
So,
to the above
according
mentioned graph,
graph, we can see that the number of measles cases,
We can see that.
you can see the number of
that the number of cases
Number of
measles cases
Then ma'am?
continuously increased
continuously increased
until the population was vaccinated.
until
The
the
population was
population was
vaccinated.
until the
Population was vaccinated
Yes, I'm done.
in 1964. In 1964. So vaccine was licensed in 1963. That means from 1964 they were vaccinated. Okay. In 1964, right? It proves that
it
proves
Prove
that
that
people needed the support. People needed the support
people needed the support
of passive immunity.
People needed the support of passive immunity.
Passive immunity. That is the vaccination, right?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
To fight against the disease. To fight against the disease.
Fight
Yes, ma'am, done.
against the
The same
disease.
answer to fight against the disease. The same answer but written in a different way. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Done. Oh, rat.
What happened?
Yes, ma'am. Somebody is talking. My home.
Okay, now question number C. Describe the effect of the introduction of vaccination on the number of measles cases. So we will have to write vaccination on the number of measles cases. So you can see the number of measles cases here. It is in thousands, right? Zooming in this part. So thousands, you can see the number is given as 0, then 200, 400 and 600. Okay, so from this, suppose 0 to 200, how many small boxes? 10 small boxes. That means each small box indicates which number?
20, ma'am, 20. Huh? 20, ma'am.
20.
Small box.
So you can see
Yes,
that the
ma'am.
cases are in thousands. The cases are in thousands. It doesn't.
Can you mark in the board? I can't understand.
Look at the board. First, you will have to understand that each small box indicates how many number of cases. So here you can see how many small boxes are there in between.
20 cases.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That means 10 small boxes are there. So 10 boxes, they are indicating.
But
Hey, can you hear, ma'am? I can't hear.
ah.
Family.
Oh,
Don't talk, don't talk. ऑनलाइन क्लास करते.
I
Hello,
can't hear,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. I can't hear you. I can't see
Is
the
it
board
clear?
also.
Reply to me.
Can't
Hello,
hear
ma'am.
you.
Can't hear
Can you
ma'am.
hear me?
Now.
No,
ma'am.
we have left.
I can hear you, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am, we
because
can
I'm
hear you.
continuously telling it. Okay, I'm sharing the
Yes.
board again.
Yes.
So each small box will indicate 20 cases. Is it clear? How?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
ma'am.
So this one will indicate 20 cases. Okay. So
Hmm.
now you see that in 1964, actually vaccine was licensed in 1963 here. So, but we will just go by average. That is 1964. You can see how many, up to this it's 400, right? After
Yes,
that,
ma'am.
how many small boxes are there?
3.
The value has reached 1, 2, 3. So one
Yes,
small
ma'am.
box
460
indicates
cases.
20 cases.
460 cases.
Three small boxes means total 60 cases. So 400
ma'am.
plus 60.
460.
That means 460 cases.
Yes.
Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
And in 1964, it is, I think, for 260.
260 cases.
Okay, so in 1963, here you can see it reached 460 cases. And in 1964, exactly this one,
Half
it
of
will
it.
be this.
260.
1, 2, 3,
260.
260 cases. Okay. And after that, you can see it dropped. The cases dropped and finally it reached 0 in which year? 1994.
1994.
1994,
It was
Corona also
completely
do like
0.
that.
Right? That means the disease was, the pathogens were completely removed. There
Yes,
was
from the world.
There was no
occurrence
measles
of the
cases.
disease. No
Yes.
occurrence of the disease was there in the society, in the population. Okay. So this is what you will have to write in details. Let's see the question.
Details.
Describe the
Only
effect of
2 marks.
introduction of vaccination on the number of measles cases. So this is why, as it is mentioned here that the number of measles cases, this is why we will have to mention the number.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's start writing the answer.
Yes, ma'am. Tell, ma'am. Question number C.
As vaccines were licensed, in the year of 1963, as vaccines were licensed in the year of 1963.
Are you telling from the first?
Yes, from the first.
Okay, okay.
As vaccines were licensed in 1963, people started getting vaccinated. Started getting vaccinated
Vaccinated.
which shows an instant decrease in the number of measles cases, which shows an instant decrease in the number of measles cases from 460
And
from
Which shows-
460
We
decrease then
Measles
instant, if
cases.
you are telling separate separate words. Okay, I'm
Which
telling it
shows
from the very first. I'm telling it from the very first. You match with your answer. As vaccines were licensed in 1963, and people started getting vaccinated, the number of measles cases
After vaccinated, then
people started getting vaccinated, the number of measles cases started decreasing instantly.
Measles cases. Number of measles cases
Started decreasing instantly.
started decrease. Ma'am, can you tell me the spelling of instantly?
Instantly means immediately. You can also write immediately. Both are same. Or you can also write immediately.
Yes, ma'am.
Instantly.
Both are same.
Instantly.
Started decreasing instantly from the number from 460 cases in 1963. From 460 cases in 1963 to 260 cases in 1964. From 460 cases in 1963 to 260 cases in 1964.
260 cases.
Done, ma'am.
In 1964. And after that it became zero in 1994. And after that it became zero in 1994.
It became zero at
1994.
In 1994.
That means or which means in 30 years, in the next 30 years,
Which means
in the next 30 years,
in next
30 years.
when vaccination of just a second. Right, within the 30 years of the introduction of vaccination, within the 30 years of the introduction of vaccination.
Can you tell which means after that?
Within 30 years, within 30 years of introduction of vaccination,
30 years. Within 30 years.
Introduction of vaccination.
Introduction of vaccination.
Yes, ma'am. Then
The whole population was completely immunized. The whole population was completely immunized against measles.
The whole population?
Against measles. Okay. So the whole population was completely immunized. The whole population was completely immunized against the disease. Just write against the disease. Or against measles infection.
complete.
Which means within 30 years of the introduction of vaccination, the whole population was immunized.
Completely immunized. After that?
Against the disease. Against the disease. That means in 1994, you can see it became zero. The whole population was completely immunized against the disease. Yes. So no one got infected. Even if the pathogen entered their body, they could fight against it. Okay. So the disease was completely removed from the population. All the people became immunized. Now read the answer. Okay. As I have just made the answer. Any one of you who have completed writing, you read it. If there is any mistake, we will correct it.
Licensed in 1963, people started getting vaccinated. The number of measles cases started decrease instantly from 460 cases in 1963 to 260 cases in 1964, and after that it became zero in 1994, which means within 30 years of introduction of vaccination, the whole population was completely immunized against the disease.
Yes. Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This one, let me tell you this one once. So how we got 1963? You can see 1944 to 1954, 10 years. So 10 boxes are indicating 10 years. That means each small box will indicate 1 year, right?
1 year.
So here you can see this one, 460 cases. It will be 1963. Okay. And so this 460 cases, this one you can see it will be in 1963. And after that, in 1963, they started vaccinating people. And after they started this vaccination process, within 1 year, that is in 1964, you can see it became 260. That means 460 to 260. Completely
100
half.
decreased.
50% of that decreased in the first year from between 1963 to 1964. After that, it completely dropped down. You can see the graph. Okay. Is it clear? Did you understand
Yes,
the
ma'am.
answer?
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now let's
Fully
see
clear.
what is the next question.
Yes.
Explain why the vaccination of around 90% of population can protect 100% of the population from an infectious disease. Okay, this answer is directly given in your book. Search it, and if you know it, then tell it now. If you don't know, search it. This answer is given in your book. If you vaccinate only 90% population, then the 100% population will be safe from the infectious disease. You don't need to vaccinate all the people in the population. You vaccinate 90% of the population, then 100%. That means the whole population will be protected. How? Tell me quickly. You have learned it. It's written in your book.
Wait, ma'am, I have found.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, in page number
However-
137.
Yeah, that part. However, this only work in least 93% of children
Yes.
vaccinated if any decide not to have their children in the outbreak. Measles can still occur, but
From
this
there,
happens.
this only work if at least 93% of
No, it
children
is
are
a
vaccinated.
story. We can't write this one. A large number of
You have seen the exactly correct portion where the answer is written, but can you make it? Try to make it yourself. Why I'm giving you so much time?
we
We have
can't
only
write
40
the
minutes.
copy and paste.
No, we have only 40 minutes, but still I'm giving you some time. Just think and write it. You know the answer. This is exactly what happens in exams also. You know the answer, but you can't write it. You leave the question. Why? Because you will have to think and write it in another way. The answer is given in that paragraph that you have just read, but you will have to arrange it properly. You will have to write it properly. So it has only 2 marks. You don't need to explain it also. You just have to write it in short. No one can tell it. At least try. Aradhya, you at least try. Arijit, Samuddin, Purbasha, Shomi, and everyone else. Aditya is there. I can see. And no one is turning on the video also. Everyone turn on the video. Okay, can't give you more time, students.
Yes, ma'am, can't
I hope
understand.
that you will.
I also that can't understand
Okay.
what is.
Ma'am, it will make
Okay, write the
change.
answer. First of all, write the lines that are written in the question. Write the exact lines, okay? Right? Vaccination of around 90% of a population can protect. Vaccination of around 90% of a population can protect 100% of population from an infectious disease. Write this complete line that is given in the question. Look at your book and write this line. The vaccination of around 90%, the vaccination of around 90% of a population can protect 100% of the population from an infectious disease. First, you write this one.
Yes, ma'am, done.
Yes, ma'am,
Wait, ma'am,
done.
not done. Not done, not done. Oof. A population.
Yes,
can
ma'am, then.
protect-
As vaccinating only 90%,
Can't
as
hear you.
vaccinating only 90%, as vaccinating only 90% of the population.
Ma'am, can you tell from past?
At the very first, you will have to write the line exactly as it is written in the question. See, the vaccination of 90% of population, the vaccination of around 90% of a population can protect 100% of the population from an infectious disease, as vaccinating only 90% of the population. As vaccinating only 90% of the population.
As vaccinating.
Population.
As vaccinating 90% of population.
Only 90% of the population will protect everyone against the infection. Will protect everyone against the infection. Because there are fewer places.
Ma'am, will protect again?
Will protect against the infection. Against the infection.
Okay.
Or you can also write against measles. Okay, because here we are particularly talking about measles infection. Against measles. Because there are fewer places for the measles virus to breed. Because there are fewer places for the measles virus to breed.
There are few places.
There are fewer places. See, I'm just marking this line. You can also write it from your book. As I have told you, it is
Fewer
exactly
places.
written in your book. As there are fewer places for the measles virus to breed. Then give a hyphen as it is given in your book, a small hyphen. It can only do so. It can only do so if it enters the body of an unvaccinated person. If it enters the body of an unvaccinated person.
Ma'am, it can only.
It can only do so if it enters the body of an unvaccinated person.
Done, ma'am.
That's it. This is the answer. For 2 marks, if you write this much, you will get the full marks. Okay. So again, I'm telling that the vaccination of 90% of around 90% of the population will protect 100% population from the infectious disease or from measles that is given you in the question. You will have to write that. As vaccinating only 90% of the population will also will protect everyone from the measles infection, because there are fewer places for the measles virus to breed. It can only do so if it enters the body of an unvaccinated person. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now what is the next question? So this was the last question from this part.
Yes, now question number 5.
Question number
Now
5.
last.
Let's see what is written here. Copy and complete the table to indicate the type of immunity. Active immunity or passive.
We will write this one.
Immunity.
Active or passive, that is
Yes,
obtained
ma'am.
by each method. Okay, number
Yes.
1, method number 1, having a disease and recovering from it. Having a disease and recovering from it.
Active immunity.
No. No, passive
What?
immunity.
Having
No
a
active.
disease and recovering from it, it will be an active immunity. Why passive?
Why passive?
Because you are having an immunity and you have made the antibodies against it yourself. So it will be an active immunity. Okay.
Active immunity.
Next, number 2, feeding a baby on breast milk.
Passive immunity.
Passive immunity.
Passive
So
immunity.
this one will be passive immunity. Second one. Okay. Second one will be passive immunity. Now the third one, being injected with antibodies.
Passive immunity.
Passive immunity.
This is also passive.
Yes, the third one will also be passive immunity. The third one will also be passive immunity. And the fourth one receiving a
Active
measles
immunity.
vaccination
Active
as a
immunity.
child.
Immunity.
Active
Yes.
immunity.
Active immunity.
Because-
Dead,
Because dead,
So
because
Dead-
you are
dead,
vaccinated
cells
and
are produced.
the vaccine contains the measles virus. Okay, attenuated
yes,
cultures
dead
of measles. So
dead
Yes.
cell.
Cell of measles
immunity.
virus.
So the first one will be active, write it. Second one will be passive.
Then
Third
also
one will
passive
be
and
passive.
last active.
And the fourth one will be active. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Have all of you written the answers?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now our class time is also over. So I will not tell you anymore. We will not discuss. Only one question is left. Okay, I'm not reading it because there is a very less time left. I will have to take the attendance also. But what you will do, as only one question is left there, you do it yourself. And today I didn't get any homework. You didn't need to post it in the assignment section every time. I will ask you in the class. You can tell me what you have written. Okay. So try to
Okay,
write the
ma'am.
answer yourself. In the next class, we will just discuss this
Yes,
answer.
ma'am, we will
And
write
after
this one.
that, we will start the next chapter, that is respiration and gas exchange. It's very important chapter. So many questions come from this chapter. Okay. So
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
it.